Hello, it is the Obscurist Tourist here, and today I come to you from my own backyard, Ontario, Canada. Yep, I am home for the holidays, as they say. It seems like I have been traveling non-stop almost since the entire year, and I am happy and relaxed and super excited to be home for a few months at least. Listen, a few years ago, I did a video on the Toronto filming locations for the 1983 movie A Christmas Story. And in that video, I posed an interesting question, and it's been a long asked question about the movie, is when did the movie take place? There's been lots of conflicting ideas and clues within the movie itself and, posed on the internet. And I scoured as much information as I could, gathered up the clues, rewatched the movie a few hundred times, and I came up with a pretty sound idea for what year it would take place. And my guess was 1939. People over the years have said 1940, 1941, 1942. Listen, even into the late 1940s, nobody really knew for sure. And even Gene Shepard, the writer of A Christmas Story, never really wanted to clarify when exactly it took place. Well, if you've seen the latest installment in the Christmas Story franchise, A Christmas Story Christmas, we finally have our answer. If you watch the movie, the answer is right in front of you. A definitive answer, and I'm going to explore that later. Turns out I was wrong about 1939, but not that far off. But for now, I wanted to hit up a few other filming locations and explore some props that were used in the movie in St. Catharines, Ontario, and other places in Ontario. So before I get to the answer of what year the movie takes place in, let's go exploring. So I am here in Chippewa, Ontario, and actually right behind me is the Gene Somerville Memorial Museum. And that museum, right inside that window there, is the famous or infamous Chippewa fire truck, the very fire truck that showed up in A Christmas Story to save Flick after he got his tongue frozen to the flagpole.
Holy cow, it's a fire department!
Unfortunately, it's closed today, which kind of sucks. I drove all this way hoping to get inside and have a look at the fire truck. So I'm going to show you some of the shots from outside, which, we'll have to do it another day, maybe next Christmas.
Because of the time period A Christmas Story is set in, the movie's producers needed a period fire truck to respond to Flick's flagpole emergency. Back in 1983, then firefighter Gord Chase and Fire Chief Alex Oleksuk took their 1938 Ford LaFrance, a pumper that perfectly fit in with the supposed time period, to the St. Catharines movie set. Believe it or not, this fire truck actually went into service for the village of Chippewa on June 10, 1938, and it stayed in service until 1969. In 1978, the Chippewa Volunteer Firefighters Association bought it from the city for $1. A Winterio grant in 1978 then helped fund its restoration in 1982, just 1 year before A Christmas Story was made. The rest, as they say, is history. And look, they even have a replica leg lamp on display in the museum window. A nice little tribute. Pretty cool.
So in the movie, Randy and Ralphie attend Warren G. Harding Elementary in Cleveland, Ohio. But in actuality, it is this. Victoria School served as Warren G. Harding. And this is located right here in St. Catharines, Ontario. It is no longer a school, no longer functioning as a school. It is now a women's shelter. And listen, I am just very happy that it is still standing, because many of these old buildings in Ontario and around Canada have been knocked down. So love that it is still standing, and it is standing and serving a very helpful purpose to people who need it. So there it is, Victoria School right here in St. Catharines, Ontario.
In A Christmas Story, this is where the famous scene of Flick getting his tongue stuck to a flagpole takes place.
The bell rang. What are you gonna do? I don't know. The bell rang.
Don't recognize it? Well, that's because it's been completely built over with townhouses, which is extremely disappointing, but not really surprising. But after some research, I realized that this white house on the corner on the left in that scene is virtually unchanged today. You can see it in the background in 1983 and how it looks today. Another thing to note about this location is that the flagpole in the scene was specifically put in place for the movie. It never existed before that on the school ground and was removed shortly after the scene was shot.
So in A Christmas Story Christmas, Peter Billingsley returns as Ralphie and Zach Ward returns as the infamous and dastardly Scut Farkas. And they have a pretty cool interaction, a reunion of sorts. Really, really cool to see. And within that interaction, you really got to pay attention. Scut Farkas actually lets us know exactly when the movie took place.
So, what's it been? 20, 30 years?
33, if you're counting.
Pretty exact timing. Right at the beginning of the movie, they show a calendar, and on that calendar it says December 1973. So that would be, even though it's in the past, that is the present for which A Christmas Story Christmas takes place. So do the math. 33 years since they last saw each other, and it's 1973. That would make A Christmas Story take place in 1940, which is 1 year off of my guess. So I think I did pretty well. And right behind me, that is the St. Catharines Museum. And within its hallowed walls, it houses some very famous movie props that were actually used in the movie itself. So let's go inside. Just to let you know, it is actually free. So you can just walk right in there and check it out. But listen, be a nice person, be hospitable, help this place and places like it survive and thrive. Leave a donation. So let's go check it out.
It's funny because I had walked through this entire museum and got sad thinking that I had missed the Christmas Story display and that it had been removed. But as I was leaving, I realized it was right over here against the wall. I guess I should have realized it sitting on top of the fragile wooden crate. Duh! Some really interesting items on display here, including glasses actually used by Peter Billingsley in the movie. The ones on the upper left were the broken prop glasses used when he almost shot his eye out later in the movie and stepped on them in the snow. And of course, here's the Red Ryder, the piece de resistance, Red Ryder BB gun, one of 3 props actually used in the movie. I believe this particular one was the one that Ralphie unwraps on Christmas Day. As you can see, the box just behind it is marked with tape marks from being wrapped up. And check this out. It is an actual script used on set. And the page is turned to the classic leg lamp scene. And this is pretty cool. These are some private pictures taken during filming and in between scenes. Pretty cool to see this stuff.
Listen, if you enjoyed this video, why don't you hit that like button below? You know where to find it. And if you loved this video and want to see more content from me, believe me, there is a ton more coming down the pipeline. Why don't you follow this YouTube page? For now, it is the Obscurist Tourist saying so long. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay beautiful, and happy ho holidays. Until our next adventure. See you later.